Don't create lies. Let that thing that you love completely consume you, and in that, your only chance to really become great lies. As Franz Kafka said, don't bend, don't water down, don't try to make it logical. Rather, follow your most intense obsessions mercilessly. Can you do that? Can you become mercilessly obsessed? Can you let something occupy you to where all logic and reason is gone out the window and the only thing that matters is whether or not you accomplish? Will you hold yourself accountable to metrics? Will you look at the world and see, am I actually making change? Are you prepared to hold yourself to that standard? Because if you are, there is nothing you can't fucking do. If you're willing to take that responsibility on to transform yourself as a human being, if you give yourself over to getting great, if you give yourself over to that obsession, if you feed it like you would feed a beast, if you feed it like you would feed a fire that can wipe out an entire mountainside, then you've got a chance. But it's got to burn within you like that. You've got to feed it like that. You've got to feed it skills. You've got to get better every day. You've got to constantly wake up and understand exactly what it is that you're building towards that, and build towards it with a relentlessness that other people think is mania, that other people can see only madness in what you do. And if you can push yourself to that level, then the world will bend to your will. As Naval Ravikant said, the only way to truly learn something is by doing it. Yes, listen to guidance, but don't wait. That is such a powerful idea. And I know right now you're listening to this because you want motivation. You want to be inspired. But my greatest fucking fear is that you'll get motivated, you'll get inspired, and that'll just be a declining arc for a few minutes after you listen to this video that ends with you doing nothing. And what I want, what I really hope for, and the reason that I give myself over to making these so completely, is I know some percentage of you on the other side of this will ultimately be prepared to take that first step. You will realize that the only thing that matters is action, and you will take that action. And it's in that action that your potential greatness waits.
It's in that action that your potential greatness awaits. Let's go. Let's go. Rise and shine, familia. Good morning. Good morning. Another blessed and grateful day. Tuesday, 11:05. Ready to go ahead and dominate the day. I've got a fire topic for you. Today's topic is going to be when you feel hopeless, the valley of despair. And I know you guys love my whiteboard days, so don't worry. I've got the whiteboard drawn out and ready for you. But before we go ahead and dive into today's training, let me see some gratitude. What is everybody grateful for coming into today? Grateful to be alive, grateful for the abundance, grateful to be healthy, grateful for the momentum flowing to and through each and every one of you. So let's go ahead and dive into today. All right, here we go. Valley of Despair. You ready? Go ahead and get your paper out. Title it VOD, Valley of Despair. And I'm going to go ahead and go through one of the biggest trainings that shifted my paradigm, right? If you feel like you've been beat up, if you feel like you've been going through some trials and tribulations, right? Maybe you've lost a couple of trades. Maybe you've had some of your family or your closest friends not believe in you. I've been through all of these emotions, but it took me understanding this to realize that this is a part of your journey. So let's go ahead and dive in, right? The Valley of Despair. All right. So if you look at this, I've went ahead and I've actually numbered this into 3 different parts, right? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So let's go ahead and start from the tip. The Valley of Despair. The first point, when you guys get into the Valley of Despair, where everybody starts, right? So you guys can go ahead and see this. So you can get a visual, take a screenshot so you guys got it. But basically, here's what happens, okay? Most people, they start off right here. When you embark on a new journey, when you go out and you do something different, you have what is called uninformed optimism, right? Uninformed optimism is simply being excited, but you don't really know exactly what's going on, right? You might not know all the details. Think about when you first got started in your journey. I know even for myself, I didn't necessarily know everything, right? Because I was brand new, but here's what I knew. I was excited, I was ready to learn, and I was ready to go ahead and take action. Okay, so think about whatever you guys first started, right? It could be being an entrepreneur, it could be being an artist, a musician. I don't know what it is for you, but you were probably excited when you first started. Okay, watch what happens with step number 2. How many of you guys might have lost some motivation along the way, right? You started maybe losing trades. You started having people not believe in you. And guess what starts to happen to your confidence, to your belief, to your self-esteem? It started to go down a little bit. And maybe you started getting in your own thoughts and started to think, well, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not smart enough to be able to go ahead and learn this. Maybe I can't actually go out and speak in front of people. I've been in all of these different scenarios, but here's what I learned once you get to the valley of despair. You ready? So we've all probably gone through 1 and 2. Watch what happens when you get down to number 3. This is called the valley of despair, and this is the name of the training, and this is why. 99% of people, they quit in the valley of despair, right? You start getting a little bit of negativity. You get a little bit of haters. I call it the birds, right? You let the birds get to you, and you end up quitting on your dreams to go have somebody else clock you into their dreams. This is one of the worst ways that you guys can live. So you know what's interesting? There's 2 ways that you can actually go ahead and go in the fork in the road, okay? You can either retreat, quit, and go repeat steps 1, 2, and 3 all over again, or you can make the decision to go ahead and push through and succeed. Okay. When I was in the valley of despair, when I was broke, busted, and disgusted, when I was living out of my car and I had no job, nobody believed in me. I wasn't making all the money. I wasn't traveling anywhere yet. And I'm telling people about the skill set. I'm telling people how I'm being able to travel, impact lives, speak on stage in front of thousands of people. People thought it was a joke. People thought I was literally wasting my breath, but it turned out that they didn't understand what was next in the next piece of my journey, right? We still had steps 4 and 5 to go. So if you guys have been in the valley of despair before, go ahead and drop a V down below, because I want you to know you're not alone, okay? Anybody that's great, I can promise you, whether a chairman, whether an excellent trader, whether a D1 athlete, whether your favorite musician, they've gone through the valley of despair, okay? So watch when we get to step number 4. What is this? This is called informed optimism. Now we're on the opposite. So you went from uninformed optimism to now you went from being informed. What does this mean? This means now you understand that this journey, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult, but it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth for you to put in the time, to be calling your mentors, to be studying day in and day out when nobody else sees your vision. And this is what happened to me. When I got around events, when I got around different circles of influence and different conversations, I could never go back to the same me. I could never go back home to just watching TV, to just Netflixing and chilling, because I knew there was individuals at my age that had a life of time freedom, that were able to give back to their parents. But I understood also what came with that result. It was going to take work ethic. It was going to take time. It was going to take me literally go ahead and filling up notebooks night after night, right? Actually learning the process, learning the skill sets, and getting better, beating at the craft. So this was all a part of the journey. So when you get to the last step, here's what you'll find. After step 4 is now you're probably reaching your stretch goal that individuals used to laugh at you for, whether that be chairman, whether that creating a certain number inside of your trading account, whether that be impacting a certain amount of lives. Okay, I don't know what that is for you. You got to be able to figure out what is your star, what is your 5 for you. This is going to be your stretch goal, but here's what I can promise you. The people who told you were a scam, you were never going to make it, guess what? When you get to this point, they're probably going to be asking you how you did it. First, they ask you why you do it. Why are you wasting your time? Why are you getting all these calls? Why are you studying so much? Later on, they ask you, how are you traveling? How are you making these kind of profits? How are you impacting so many lives? So I can promise you, if you can take this training into consideration to understand where you are right here, this is going to give you the perspective that holding the vision and trusting the process is 1,000% worth your time and energy. So family, that's my training for you guys today. But if you want to go ahead and get through the valley of despair, people ask me all the time, so D, I feel like I might be right here in this zone, right? I might be right at number 3. One thing that's going to change your life is one word. You ready? It's going to be called intensity, okay? You've got to figure out what is going to fire you up internally. Forget about the external world. You're going to have to take some time and do some inner work, right? Internally. Your world is going to change when you figure out the source, not when you figure out the receiver. What do I mean by that, okay? If you think about a radio station, whatever source that you actually change the station to, that's the vibration that you're going to get out of it. So if the source is 98.5, that's rap, you're going to be listening to rap. 98.7 is rock. You're listening to rock. So you've got to be able to change your source, your frequency. What is your frequency right now? What is your source? Is it negative? Is it lack? Is it living a life where nothing is going right? Or is it on the other side? Is your source being joyful, abundant, right? Feeling good, feeling as if you're already in the state, in the wish fulfilled. These are all things that changed my life, but it starts mainly with getting the intensity and figuring out what is going to drive you, what is going to push you long past when the feeling has left. That's the difference between dedication and motivation, right? Motivation will last you for a couple hours. You get off this call, you get out of an event, you get out of somewhere like where I just went the past week. You're fired up, you're hyped up for a couple hours, a couple of days. But what do you do when that feeling has left? You've got to figure out what is going to drive you emotionally. So that's my training for you guys today. If you got any value, go ahead and smash the like button. Drop some 7s down below. I have nothing but love for each and every one of you. And here's what I know. If you're in step 1, 2, or 3, the best is yet to come. Whatever lessons you're learning right now, this is positioning you for where it is that you're about to go. Because here's the truth. If God were to bless you with all the abundance that you're looking for right now, were to bless you with the money, the cars, the thing that you like to hold right now, would you be able to handle the responsibility that comes with that? Could you handle 1,000 people that just dropped in your organization? Could you handle a $50,000 trading account that was just dropped in your trading account right now? For most of us, the answer is no. So understand that you're exactly where you need to be for a reason, because there's lessons, there's experience that needs to be learned now in order to get to the next level. So family, it's your favorite entrepreneur, Define Dreams. Remember, you can be, do, or have whatever it is that you can hold in your mind. You can hold it right here in your hand. Family, let's get to work. It's game time. Let's grow.